Break the chains that I let bind me. Heal the pain that lives inside me. Set me free.
You know, not only is God our good shepherd Jesus Christ laid down his life for us and is our guide and is our provider, but he is also our protector. You know, sheep are kind of defenseless. They're easy prey for a lion or a bear or a wolf, and without a shepherd to protect them, they could quickly become lunch for a predator. You know, before King David was a king, he was a shepherd and showed just how he protected his own flock from real danger. In 1 Samuel 17:34 it says, "But David said to Saul, Your servant used to keep sheep for his father. And when there came a lion or a bear and took a lamb from the flock, I went after him and struck him and delivered it out of his mouth." When Jesus sent his 12 apostles out to be his witnesses and spread the gospel, he told them in Matthew 10:16, "Behold, I'm sending you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves." You know, while we may feel like sheep among wolves at times, we play by the rules and we suffer while others seem to cheat and gain from it. We show kindness only to receive disrespect in return. We can be sure that nothing can happen to us that God doesn't allow. He gives each of us all of the protection we need within the purposes of his own sovereign will. This means that bad things may still happen. I may still suffer. You think about the Apostle Paul. Do you think as he was being beaten or whipped, as he was on many occasions, that God had stopped protecting him? I'm sure the thought would have come to my mind for sure if I'd have been in Paul's position. But this idea of just speaking what you want, or prosperity gospel, or name it and claim it, you know, that's not the gospel. And not one more lash that God allowed could hit Paul's back, and not one hair of your head can be touched by Satan that God doesn't allow. It's difficult for us to always understand the whys. You know, if God is my protector, why would we still suffer? And we've talked about this many times on Swordbox, so we won't go into all the reasons for the sufferings here, but I really want to focus on the fact that God still is our protector and he is in sovereign control of it. Scriptures that prove our shepherd is our protector. When we're being attacked, when we're feeling pain, that's when we need to stand firm in our faith and not doubt that he can protect us. When thoughts of where is God come into our minds, or God must not care about what's happening to me, we must lean on his words. Matthew 10:28-31 says, "And do not fear those who can kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father? But even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, for you are more value than many sparrows." You know, God never turns his back on his sheep. He's protecting us, even though most of the time I would say we don't even realize it. Just as a young child is unaware of how his parents continually protect him from harm. They're oblivious to the dangers that mom and dad see and prevent from harming their child. They're never even aware of what those parents do to protect them. And it's kind of the same way with us and God. Isaiah 43:1-3 says this, "But now thus says the Lord, He who created you, O Jacob, He who forms you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame shall not consume you. Because you are precious in my eyes, and honored, and I love you." This is our God revealing himself to his people. Our shepherd protects us because just as with Israel, we are precious in his eyes, and he loves us. We do not have to fear. But what's most important is not this life. It's the eternal purposes of God that we can't always see and that we can't always understand. You know, even Jesus endured unimaginable, brutal suffering at the hands of Roman soldiers and was crucified on the cross. Yet he did so willingly, and he did so for us. It was the plan of God for our salvation. And so we must never doubt God's love and protection. And like Jesus, accept those times when we must suffer according to his will, knowing that he is with us and protecting us. Just as with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were willing to suffer and die for their God. When faced with being thrown into a furnace of fire, they responded in Daniel chapter 3, "If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods." They knew God could protect them, but also God was not obligated to protect them. Their hearts never doubted and never wavered. Their lives were not in the king's hands, but their lives were entrusted to their God's hands. And we know God showed up and he protected them. And we must learn as they did, not just to trust in what we hope God will do for us, but to ultimately completely just trust in God and who he is, come what may. God bless you. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Swordbox.